This is a channeling from Adama on Metatron and Sacred Geometry. As stated in previous channelings, Metatron is an angel from the 9th dimension. Metatron is associated with sacred geometry, and he is indeed a very well-versed teacher of sacred geometry, and has been a guide for many well-reputed mathematicians and sacred geometrists that have incarnated on Earth. Metatron himself did indeed incarnate on Earth as a famous philosopher. However, I believe it was Socrates. Okay. You were getting in your own way again and doubting yourself. Yes, indeed, Metatron was incarnated as Socrates, and he is responsible for many modern-day philosophies that permeate your society, at least to the extent of my knowledge. Which, mind you, is not very vast, as I am very quickly learning from you. For those not privy to the joke, while I am teaching Marlena all of these spiritual and universal laws and secrets, she is teaching me about Gen Z culture, as she calls it, and modern day slang. It is a fun experience for both of us, for I do enjoy etymology, and she enjoys learning these spiritual sciences and art forms. However, back to Metatron and his teachings. Tonight we will be covering the basics of sacred geometry and how they pertain to the soul's incarnation on Earth, specifically the Merkaba field and the other energy fields present in the body. The most basic sacred geometric shape is indeed the circle, and from the circle one may multiply the circle and one may multiply the circle 8 times and come up with the sacred geometric pattern of the seed of life. All of these sacred geometric patterns are physically found in the 3rd dimension. However, they are merely shadows and allegories of the truths found in higher dimensions. I will touch more on this later after you have gained a more complete picture of the sacred geometric shapes, for I can feel your confusion at the previous statement. The 3rd sacred geometric shape is the flower of life, which you are indeed very familiar with, and this is taken by multiplying the seed of life by 8 times. The number 8 is indeed significant in these sacred geometric patterns, for 8 is the number of frequencies in the 3rd dimension. The number of levels of frequencies in the 3rd dimension. Perhaps a better way to put this is a video game metaphor. Say, for example, your incarnate soul is a character in a video game. In order for you to, quote-unquote, beat the video game, you must achieve 8 levels of consciousness. And after reaching the 8th level of consciousness, you may, as you read in the Magdalene manuscript, complete the initiation of the god Horus and allow your soul to achieve true enlightenment, as was done by Yeshua and has been done by many beings incarnated on this earth since. After the flower of life comes the tree of life, and this is the sacred geometric shape that is most comparable to your physical and energetic bodies. For example, the 5 central circles that compose the trunk of the tree, if you will, in this shape, correspond to the 5 main energetic meridians in your physical body. You are a bit confused, considering you were operating under the belief that you had 7 chakras. However, I would like to note that these energetic meridians of which I speak of are different from chakras, because these are more dense and physical in your body, and perhaps the best way to speak of these would be a step between neurons and your acupuncture meridians or your etheric meridians. Similarly to the tree of life's trunk matching up with these hubs of energy in the physical body, there are other hubs outside of your physical body of this similar density that correspond to the other circles on the tree of life. If you were to pull up a picture of a human body and the tree of life and superimpose them on each other, you would be able to sketch a shadow of one's physical energetic field. This physical energetic field of which I speak is a step below in density from the Ka. So in levels of density, your physical body is the most dense. This energetic level that I speak of now is the second most dense. Then you have the level of your Ka, then the level of your Ba, and finally the level of the true higher soul in its purest form. There are other bodies in between, however, they are not pertinent to your knowledge at this time, so we will save those explanations for a later date. I know you wish to discuss them now, however, like I said, it would lead to more confusion, and perhaps it is best for us to save this for tomorrow, maybe. If I must be rushed, I can do it tomorrow. However, I did have a different plan for tomorrow. Apologies for the silence. We are having a conversation on the astral realm about the nature and planning of these lessons, and I feel it is pertinent to share part of this information with you as the audience. for a lesson plan is always appreciated from a student's perspective. As you noticed, we started with a lesson on Ka. Previously, I had channeled through Marlena a lesson on Kundalini. However, she did not record this lesson because she did not end up speaking it aloud. However, if the time arises and the need arises, I will channel this message again for her to post on the social media platforms that she has decided to post on. Next, I spoke about Metatron and the sacred geometry of the Merkaba, and now I am speaking of the sacred geometry of the lower frequencies of one's incarnation. After this, I may indeed speak on the causal body, as it is sometimes called, and the astral body, for these do indeed each have their own shape and bandwidth of frequencies that they correspond to. And if one's clairvoyance is awakened, they may see different visions and perceptions in each of these bodies that will allow them to know innate truths about a person without verbal confirmation. And this is indeed what you are being prepared for, Marlena. You will be gifted with the clairvoyance that you have always dreamed of having since reading your first fantasy novel at a very young age. And at first it may seem overwhelming, but you have many guides on your side, and we have charged that amethyst crystal necklace for you, so if anything ever gets to be too much, you have an off button, as you say, or an escape route, or a temporary reprieve. However, it is my goal that you will not need the use of this crystal, the assistance of this crystal, for my goal is to prepare you as much as I can, consciously, intellectually, mentally, and even to a certain extent physically and energetically, for these higher faculties to awaken. You have just posed a question about whether your Ka will have abilities of clairvoyance, and this is slightly complicated because your Ka and your Ba, while similar in nature and is inseparable in this incarnation, do indeed have separate entities in your body. So your Ka, when it is fully charged up and strengthened, may help increase your clairvoyant abilities, but your clairvoyant abilities do not stem from your Ka. They stem solely from your Ba. As your Ba is the part of you that connects to the collective consciousness on the higher level and allows you to see these higher level, higher vibrational truths of the people in your life. Indeed, you will be able to see these in strangers. However, it will take a little bit more focus and concentration, and you might have to stare at them for a bit. So it might be best to practice on people you know, so you don't weird others out, as you say. However, back to the sacred geometry, now that we have a bit more of a complete picture of what the sacred geometric shapes are of the physical body, I would like to paint a picture of their metaphor. It was no accident that these geometric shapes were named after a seed, flower, and tree, for they represent one's path to enlightenment and their consciousness's path from ego and a state of fear and stagnancy to a place of love and acceptance and openness. When one is at the beginning of their journey, their physical energetic body will appear indeed simply as the circle. And as they progress through the levels, as you say, towards enlightenment, then their physical energetic body's structure will change to correspond to the sacred geometric pattern that resonates with the frequency of their physical body. Yours currently is shifting between the flower of life and the tree of life. For one's physical body cannot take on the tree of life form until their Ka and Ba are fully active and enmeshed. So once this process is complete for you, then you will embody the tree of life and have full access to the physical energy centers in your body. And this is indeed the physical mechanics that will allow you to interact with reality on a new level once your Merkaba is awakened and fully online. The Merkaba structure is in the fourth dimension. However, the tree of life, the seed of life, and the flower of life are all in the third dimension. Thus, they correspond to the physical body. And these will probably be the first shapes that you will be able to see in one's aura. They may be superimposed over a person's body in their energetic field, or these shapes may be visible inside of a person or behind them, depending on where their presence in their energetic body is. However, if they are embodying the tree of life energy, then the energy should be fully centered in their body, with their hands encompassing 2 of the circles, as well as the 5 central circles being encompassed by their torso and spine. Although it is possible for one to have their tree of life energy awakened, yet have it be off-kilter or off-center, this is extremely rare and usually due to circumstances premeditated before incarnation to learn a specific lesson. And this is not the case with you. Do not worry. Once you have fully awakened your tree of life energy, the chakras in your hands will fully come online, and you will be able to transfer energy and manipulate energy using your hands much easier than before, and similarly so with your feet, however to a slightly lesser extent. This is something you are already capable of doing. However, these capabilities will increase and have the potential for exponential increase the more you learn and practice. Indeed, a good exercise for this is the method of forming an energy ball between your hands and watching it grow. You usually choose the color blue. However, I would encourage you to choose the color green, as that is the color that corresponds to the heart chakra, and that is where most of your energy is embodied at the moment. So you might find it a bit easier to pull from this chakra rather than your throat chakra, which is associated with the color blue. You made the point that you chose the color blue because that is the color that you perceive the energetic meridians in your body, and I would make the same point as I just made for the throat chakra. There is much more energy present in your heart chakra than there is in your energetic meridians. For your heart chakra acts similarly as your heart organ does. However, it does not pump blood, it pumps energy. So although these energetic meridians are essential to transport the energy to your hands to allow it to form the ball, it would make much more sense and perhaps be more efficient to visualize the energy as green, so you are not wasting consciousness and energy on transmuting this heart chakra energy into throat chakra energy before you expel it into your physical reality. You have posed the question about whether or not you will be able to see these energetic balls as you make them, and I would like to point out that currently you may not. However, as your clairvoyance awakens, this will become easier to you. However, you are still able to feel these energetic balls, and for those who do not know what it feels like, it may feel like anything from a warm sensation to a slight tingling or prickling to even the pull or repulsion of a magnet, depending on your energy and how close your hands are to each other, and also the size and nature of the ball of energy. Similarly, you may do this with elemental energy. However, this will be extremely difficult until your Ka is fully awakened. However, this is indeed coming quickly to you, so you need not wait long. Indeed, the work that you are doing in the 9th dimension with your soul pod family is aiding in the enmeshment of your Ka and freeing up trauma that will allow for Mary Magdalene to enmesh more of your Ka than we anticipated during the next session. So, kudos to you, as you say. Pardon the silence. We had a quick moment of discussing more etymology, for we both indeed love languages. Now, I would like to mention quickly more about the nature of channeling, for I feel it is essential to mention some of its limitations. One of the major limitations of channeling is indeed that of the channel. The information that I am able to share with you is limited to not only my channel's vocabulary, but also my channel's capacity to receive vibrational frequencies. For example, if there is a word that my channel does not know or frequently mispronounces or misspells, I will not be able to correct this, or I may not always be able to correct this, for we are not necessarily just deciding on the words to say. However, we are deciding on the vibrational frequencies to portray. I use the term we in this instance because this channeling is a collaboration. The way it works is in the astral realm, Marlena and I are having an astral conversation that does not necessarily take place in words. However, it purely takes place in vibrational frequencies and ideas and concepts. We work together to decide upon words that fit these concepts and vibrational frequencies by, as you guys say, throwing spaghetti at a wall until it sticks. So we throw words back and forth to each other, and once we both agree on a word that fully encompasses the meaning of the vibrational frequency or concept that we are trying to convey, then she speaks it out in the channeling. That being said, that is where the limitations come into play, because if we do not both know the word, then either she has to teach it to me and we must continue on from there, or we must choose a different word that may not encompass the full meaning of the message. This does not mean that the message is inaccurate. It merely means that your conscious perception of this message is not as clear as the vibrational frequency of the message is. However, fear not, for the vibrational frequency of the message is still reaching your superconsciousness, and you are still receiving the heart of the message, which is the most important part. For those who wish to learn how to channel themselves, I would encourage you to reach out to your guides and practice having conversations with them, for that is indeed how Marlena got her start here. And while some guides may find it slightly bothersome, other guides really appreciate being reached out to and having somebody to talk to and guide. If you are wanting to reach out to somebody who you know for sure would share those sentiments, I would recommend reaching out to angels or archangels, for there are many around who are, as Chris says, underemployed. However, that is the end of this channeling this evening. And as they say in France, adieu. Peace and chicken grease, home slice.